welcome to, someone's at the door. Welcome to today's video. So it is Sunday. We just finished watching our online church and kind of just hanging out in our pajamas. Kids are currently having lunch and I'm going to go to the bookstore, possibly 2 bookstores. I'm not really 100% sure. Christmas shopping slash for me. I've just really gotten into reading again lately. I just feel like for the first time in a long time, I have space somewhere in my schedule that I can read for fun again. And so I've just I've really gotten into it and I've been picking up a lot of new books, and I kind of have a running list of some that I want to get. Currently the bookstore around us is having like a big sale. It's kind of like a Christmas and it's also sort of a Black Friday sort of deal. So I wanted to go and see if some of the books I'm looking for are part of that sale. Just kind of pick them up now. So I thought I would take you guys along and we'll do like a little book haul and kind of like a recap or like just what I'm reading, what I want to read, that kind of a thing. There's Mike. Mike's gonna come with me for funsies. All right, we've left the bookstore. I could have stayed there. I mean, I gotta be honest with you, it's not nearly as fun as it used to be when you could I don't know, you felt like you could actually hang out, you know, at the bookstore, and then they had like chairs everywhere and you could sit and actually take your time looking at books. It's not the same now with everything going on, but still, it was fun looking at all the books. And I think I mentioned they were having a whole bunch of like promotions and sales and things going on. I think this was the last weekend, so that's why I wanted to go in and just grab some stuff. So I grabbed some stuff for me, something for some Christmas presents. Mike actually got some stuff for himself too, so quite the haul. Anyway, now we're gonna grab a quick lunch, I think at South Street Burger, and then head home and I will share everything we got. been trying to film this for the last 20 minutes. A lot of interruptions. Mike's taking care of it now. Why do I look like I have no neck? I'm wearing a turtleneck, but I do have a neck. I feel like it's like I'm a floating head. What in the world? Okay. Anyway, so we're back from the bookstore. Ended up just going to the one bookstore you guys probably saw in the shot. It's Indigo. Ended up finding, well, like, let's be honest, I could have come out of there with a lot more stuff, but I ended up getting what I was thinking of getting there, so we didn't have to make another stop to another location. There was a couple of things, but they weren't on sale, so it didn't really matter that I could just probably order at a later date. I have quite a few now to keep me going. I don't know if I'll be able to read all these before the end of the year. I mean, that's kind of ambitious, to be honest. Like, I think I technically could, but life, you know what I mean? Just like life in general, homeschooling, Christmas prep, just mom life and all the things like that. There's a good chance it won't happen. We shall see. So I'll show you guys what I got. Mike picked up a couple things too, and then we also grabbed something for a Christmas present. You know, my kids are all avid readers, so when they made up their like Christmas lists for me, I would say each of them had like about a half of their lists were books. We've made multiple trips to the bookstore. So I think what I'll do is I will show you everything we got. We got two, like I said, it's not all for me though, but we got 2 bags. And then I thought it would be fun to show you what I've been reading and some books that I already had picked up like the last couple of weeks that I'm also wanting to read. So I have always been an avid reader, like growing up, even as a kid, I've always had a love for books, and it's just always been a favorite pastime of mine. I just kind of just reading for pleasure just sort of fell off the bandwagon. And then with homeschooling and stuff, I mean, we do a ton of reading, not just like workbooks and stuff, but you know, like just read aloud books, all kinds of just literature that we incorporate into our homeschool. And I don't know, I think I just sort of was going through like this period where I was either really busy with life and almost felt like all read out. Does that make sense? Because as a homeschooling mom, I feel like I'm reading something all day, like all day long. But I would say like at the end of the summer, the end of this last summer, I started just kind of, I don't know, just wanting to read for fun again, and I've been enjoying it ever since. So I'll start with the stuff that's not mine. Mike grabbed this, it's just called Wood. It's Better Homes Than Garden, and it's their wood magazine. If you don't already know, Mike has gotten, just this past year, he made our dining room table, like a farmhouse dining room table of my dreams. He kind of fell into this whole love of woodworking, and he's also very good at it. Like, he just happened to pick it up and have a knack for it, and he's just basically self-taught. He now makes pieces of furniture. People come to him requesting him to make like custom-made pieces of furniture. So it's something he's loved doing, and that it's just like a fun kind of pastime for him. So that is why, because it would seem kind of random, but that is why he's always, there's like singing now going on. That is why he loves reading up on stuff like this. He's always listening to podcasts, and I don't know. And then he actually, okay, so he actually told me to give him this as part of his Christmas present. Whether I will or won't, I'm not sure, because I don't know. I just feel like it's not very fun for him to already know he's getting it. But he picked up this Collins Complete Woodworkers Manual, the #1 best-selling woodworking book. It's a pretty hefty book. Like, it's hardcover. I mean, it's a nice looking book, you know what I mean? Even though I do not care about any of this stuff or understand any of this stuff. But I mean, like, if you can just appreciate a good book, it's a nice book. It would actually make a really nice coffee table book. So he was very excited to get that. Those were his finds. Oh, one more thing that he picked up. Insights You Need from Harvard Business Review. more than a buzzword, agile is a powerful business tool for all. So I don't know, he has very eclectic tastes, so he got this one as well. All right, so the first book that I got for me is Frederick Bachman's Anxious People. I'll just read you the little blurb about what the book is about. A poignant comedy about a crime that never took place. A would-be bank robber who disappears into thin air, and 8 extremely anxious strangers who find they have more in common than they ever imagined. I've just heard a lot of reviews about this book, that it is a good book. I've basically fallen into the world of booktubers here on YouTube because I have been so out of it with reading books. I kind of felt like, in a way, I didn't really know where to start. I had no reference point for like how to pick out books for myself, to be honest with you. So I've been following a lot of booktubers here, getting a lot of good suggestions from them. A lot of them kind of talk about the same books, you know, a lot of them recommend a lot of the same books. I've just been like making like a running list of all the books that seemed like something interesting that I would want to read, and I've been walking into bookstores or ordering off Amazon, just basically going through this list of books I'd like to read. So this was one of them. So I'm excited to start reading that. And then actually, I didn't even realize this, like when I was in the bookstore looking for the books, I didn't realize this until I had picked all the books and put them in my basket. But the next 2 books I have are from the same author of Anxious People, Frederick Bachman, the same author as the book A Man Called Ove, and so I had picked up A Man Called Ove. Hopefully I like this author because I've got 3 books of his. So this book, let's see, this is what it says on the back cover. Ove is almost certainly the grumpiest man you'll ever meet. He thinks himself surrounded by idiots, joggers, neighbors who can't reverse a trailer properly, and shop assistants who talk in code. But isn't it rare these days to find such old-fashioned clarity of belief and deed, such unswerving conviction about what the world should be, and a lifelong dedication to making it just so? In the end, you will see there's something about Ove that is quite irresistible. I was drawn to this book because it is about an older man, and I just kind of have like a soft spot in my heart for like grandma and grandpa like figures and stories about them. So that's honestly what made me want to pick up this book. So that is my next book that I have. And then the third book that I got from the same author, Frederick Bachman, is called Beartown. People say Beartown is finished, but down by the lake stands an old ice rink built generations ago by the working men who founded the town, and that rink is the reason people in Beartown believe tomorrow will be better than today. Their junior hockey team is about to compete in the national championships, and they actually have a shot at winning. All the hopes and dreams of the town now rest on the shoulders of a handful of teenage boys. Being responsible for the expectations of an entire town is a heavy burden, and the semi-final match is the catalyst for a violent event that leaves a young girl traumatized and a town in turmoil. Hers is a story no one wants to believe, since the truth would mean the end of the dream. Accusations are made, and like ripples on a pond, they travel through all of Beartown, leaving no resident unaffected. So when I had first learned about what this book was about, I kind of was like, it kind of seems interesting, but I didn't know like how much of it was going to be about hockey, because I'm like neither here or there. I mean, if anything, I'm really uninterested in a story about hockey, but I had read some reviews about it, and almost everybody hands down said that like you didn't have to be a hockey fan. It's not really what the book is about. It's just more the setting for the story. That is the third book that I got. And then the fourth book that I got is called Caraval. Caraval, I think that's how you say it. Caraval? I don't know. Correct me in the comments if I'm saying it wrong. By Stephanie Garber. And I think this is a trilogy. I know there's a book 2, but I think there's a book 3. Maybe there's even more than that. I'm not really sure. Just ignore the screaming. This is more of like a fantasy type of book. And it says a legendary competition, a mesmerizing romance, and an unbreakable bond between 2 sisters. yeah, I'm excited to read that as well. I think it'll be fun to be kind of swept into a fantasy world. Wait, so those were the books that I got at the bookstore. There were some other books that I was looking to get that either they just didn't have in stock or they weren't part of any of the promotions, so there was no hurry to have to get them today. So we have Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston, Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Green Glass House by Kate Milford, The City Baker's Guide to Country Living by Louise Miller, and The Paris Wife by Paula McLean. There was actually another book, hold on one sec. Oh yes, the other book, which is actually sold out everywhere, is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. So those are just some books sort of like that I have on my wanting to read list, but obviously I have more than enough to keep me busy. So aside from that, I thought I would just quickly go through some of the books that I already have that I am currently reading or I already have waiting to be read. This is a book that I'm currently reading right now. I have that much left to go, so about a quarter of it left to go. I'm on page 320. I'm on chapter 25. This is called Together by Christmas by Canadian bestseller Karen Swan, and it just says everyone deserves a second chance. Honestly, I basically got suckered in by the cover of this book because I got it, I've been reading this for about 2 weeks, I would say about 2 weeks. You know, it had all the, I mean, it has Christmas in the title, but it had all the wintry Christmas vibes, and I just thought, like, why not? This is basically about a girl, her name is Lee, and she is an ex-war photographer. She's now living in a city and she just does like freelance photography work, and it's just her and her 5-year-old son, and basically just kind of follows her through like a winter season, all the things going on in her life. There's multiple storylines and multiple characters. There is like a little bit of a love story, some other unexpected twists. I didn't really know too much about it going into it, so I didn't really know like what to expect. I'm enjoying it. It's a little, I mean, I don't know, I haven't finished it yet, so I can't really give like a proper review. I'm enjoying it. It's a lighter read, and yet like it's a little all over the place. Like in some regards, some of the storyline kind of veers off into a lot of directions, and I'm a little bit like, okay. Yeah, it's not awful. It's pretty good. Like I said, it's just a very light read. It is definitely atmospheric for this time of year and Christmassy and all the winter vibes. So yeah, that's what I'm currently reading. So I think I'll probably be able to have that done in the next couple of days. I got this back in the summertime, and it's Where the Crawdads Sing. I'm sure you've heard about this book. Everybody raved about it, and I never finished it. I want to finish it, I just never finished it. So I started reading it probably mid-August, I think, is when I started reading it. And it's not that I didn't enjoy it, because it's beautifully written, and it is, the storyline is just beautifully heartbreaking is kind of how I can say that. But it's very intense and brings out all the feels. And I felt like, I don't know, I think I just wasn't in an emotional state to continue reading it and to get through it. It just really was like pulling at my heartstrings, and I think I was just in a not a funk, but I was like in a moment, like with everything going on in the world. We were approaching like getting ready to start school again, and I don't know, I had kind of just dove back into reading. I picked it up because I'd heard so much about it, but it's definitely like a more intense story. I probably should have started with something a little bit lighter, so I do want to finish it. I think I will start back up reading it when I'm done Together by Christmas. I think I will go back and continue reading this. Like I said, it's a beautiful story, and it's so beautifully written. Just was not wanting something so, I guess, sad. It's sort of sad. 2 more books that I'm waiting to read. The first one is the Jane Austen Society, a novel by Natalie Jenner. Again, this is something that I kind of was just sort of drawn in by the cover, and the title, if I'm honest. It says on the inside flap of the book, with the winds of change blowing through the country of England post-war, a group of desperate individuals fight to preserve both Austen's home and her legacy for the world. These people: a farmer, a young war widow, the village doctor, an employee of Sotheby's, a Hollywood star, a local solicitor, the anticipated heiress to the estate, and a precocious house girl, could not be more different, and yet they are united in their love for the works and words of Austen. I think this is just going to be like a fun, very just enjoyable read, so I'm excited to get going on that. And then the last book that I have is by Jenny Colgan, and it is called The Bookshop on the Shore. This was another book that I found watching some booktubers here on YouTube. This is also part of a series. As far as I know though, like you don't have to, because I think there's the Bookshop on the Shore, and then I think there's the bookshop, yeah, there's the bookshop on the corner, and I think there's another one. I don't think that they're necessarily in any order, and I don't think you have to have read one to understand the other. I think they're like individual stories. I'm actually not even sure if the characters are the same. Oh, there's another one. Little Beach Street Bakery. Oh, and Christmas at the Cupcake Cafe. Okay, there's a lot of them. So I think they're each individual stories. It's just a very whimsical book that takes place in like a small town in London, England, and it's a single mother and her son, and her getting a job at this little bookshop. It reminds me, it just kind of reminds me, it gives me all the Gilmore Girl vibes. Like something about the cover and the description of the small town, it just totally just gives me Gilmore Girl vibes. And if you guys know me, you know that I'm obsessed with Gilmore Girls. So that's what made me want to pick up this book and give it a read. That is everything. That's a lot of books. It's a lot of books that I'm trying to get through. It's pretty ambitious for me. Mom of 6, pretty ambitious, but I've really been enjoying myself. Like I said, I have been watching a lot less TV. Not that I was a big TV watcher to begin with, but you know, I would end my night usually watching something before bed and falling asleep while watching something before bed. And now I have a bath, I make myself a hot cup of tea, and I come to bed and I read until I fall asleep. And so that has been my reading time, is at the end of the night, and it's just been a nice little ritual to get into. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit different. I've never really done a video like this before, so you'll have to let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know, okay, let me know in the comments, if you've read any of the books I've shown. Tell me which books you've read. Don't give any spoilers, but just tell me if you've read any of these books. And then also let me know what you're currently reading, or like something that you like just finished reading, slash any suggestions for books. That's a lot. I know I'm making a lot of requests. That is about it. So thank you so much for watching. Am I the only one who just loves the smell of a bookstore and the smell of a book? I think you know you are a book lover when you love the smell of the pages of a book. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna say bye now. Hope you are enjoying your own countdown to Christmas, to the holidays, however you celebrate the holidays. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye.